The streets of Chicago are alive again. The sound of footsteps, the rhythm of thousands breathing in unison, the distant echo of cheers bouncing off skyscrapers. This is the Chicago Marathon. But this year, something feels different. Among the 47,000 runners filling the city streets, nearly 3,000 are Mexican nationals, each one running not just for victory, but for something far deeper. They run for hope. They run for identity. They run to show the world, we belong here. It's early morning in Grant Park. The air is crisp. The skyline glows orange with sunrise, and nervous laughter mixes with the smell of energy drinks and anticipation. The announcer's voice booms, "Welcome to the Bank of America Chicago Marathon 2025. Runners stretch, pray, and hug their families one last time before the horn sounds. And when it does, 26.2 miles of determination begin. But behind the energy, behind the medals and the smiles, lies an unspoken tension that few outsiders understand. Because for many of these runners, especially those of Mexican descent, this marathon isn't just a race. It's a statement. Over the past few months, ICE enforcement across Chicago has increased dramatically. Raids near Little Village, Pilsen, and Berwyn have left immigrant families terrified. Many live in fear of stepping outside, even for something as joyful as a community event. So when thousands of Mexican runners showed up to this year's marathon, it sent a message. A message of defiance, of courage, of unity. A local reporter described the moment perfectly. It wasn't just about running. It was about reclaiming space, the streets, the spotlight, and the narrative.
Out there is very warm, hot. Over here it's pretty cold. I didn't expect it to be this cold.
From South Africa.
We're super excited. It's going to be beautiful. Definitely the most beautiful 5K we've done, but also the earliest we've got up for a 5K.
Cameras capture tears of pride and fear in equal measure. A young woman, wearing a green and red headband, says into the mic, "I came here to run for my brother. ICE took him last year. He was never violent, never broke the law. But today, I run for him." Her words break hearts and ignite applause. The marathon becomes more than an athletic event. It transforms into a moving protest, an act of peaceful resistance. Spectators wave both American and Mexican flags, chanting, "Si se puede." Yes, we can. Children hold up handmade signs. Run for freedom. Run for family. Run for hope. In Little Village, a group of mariachi musicians performs near the 21st mile mark, turning the streets into a festival of color and pride. Every note of the trumpet echoes the spirit of survival. But not everyone cheers. As the runners pass through the downtown checkpoints, some onlookers whisper about immigration, legality, and belonging. Online debates flare up. Should non-citizens be allowed in the marathon? Is this political propaganda? For those running, the answer is simple. They're human beings chasing a dream. By midday, the sun climbs high and exhaustion sets in. But the determination in these runners' faces is unshakable. From seasoned marathoners to first-time runners, every stride feels like an act of defiance. In mile 15, a man collapses momentarily. The crowd cheers as fellow runners stop to help him up. They clap, they chant, "Vamos, hermano." Come on, brother. It's the kind of solidarity that defines Chicago, a city built by immigrants for immigrants. Meanwhile, cameras capture ICE patrol vehicles stationed just blocks away from the marathon route. Official sources claim it's for security reasons. But for many runners, the sight sends chills down their spine. Still, they keep running. A powerful montage unfolds, faces of determination. Tears mixing with sweat. People of every race and language running side by side, united by something bigger than fear. At the finish line, the crowd's energy peaks. Grant Park explodes with applause as the first wave of runners cross the line. But for most Mexican participants, it's not about timing or medals. It's about finishing their story. One runner wraps herself in the Mexican flag, kneels and cries. She whispers to the camera, "We made it. We're not invisible anymore." Her words spread across social media. Within hours, hashtags like #WashRunForFreedom, Chicago Marathon 2025, and Mexican runners rise trend across the US and Mexico. National outlets pick up the story: CNN, Telemundo, Univision. each covering how the Mexican community turned fear into fuel, running through ICE's shadow to reclaim hope. But beyond the headlines, there's a quieter story. In Pilsen, local churches and community groups spent weeks raising funds to sponsor undocumented runners who couldn't afford entry fees. Volunteers provided shoes, jerseys, and meals. Some even trained together in secret, meeting before dawn to avoid attention. Their journey to the starting line was as remarkable as the marathon itself. Some risked public exposure just to participate. Others ran anonymously without bibs, fearing identification, but running anyway. Because courage, like running, comes one step at a time. As the sun begins to set, the marathon winds down. Empty paper cups scatter across the pavement. Banners flutter in the breeze and cleanup crews move in. But the spirit lingers. Chicago has always been a city of resilience. From the Great Fire to the blizzards, from protests to parades, this city knows how to rise. And today, it rose once more, through thousands of footsteps pounding the pavement, carrying both pain and pride. Later that night, candlelight gathering forms near the Mexican consulate. Runners light candles and place their medals on a small altar with photos of detained family members. They sing softly, "No estamos solos, we are not alone." That moment captures everything. The fear, the faith, the fire. The next morning, newspapers call it the Marathon of Hope. Social media calls it the race ICE couldn't stop. But for those who were there, it was something far deeper. It was proof that even in times of fear, humanity still runs together. A father who crossed the finish line with his daughter on his shoulders says, "This medal isn't just for me. It's for everyone who couldn't run today, because they were afraid." His words hit like thunder. Because in a time when deportations and divisions dominate the news, these runners reminded Chicago of something simple: unity can't be detained. The final scene shows the empty streets of downtown Chicago, traffic returning, life moving on, but echoes of that day still hanging in the air. The narrator's voice fades with one line: "Maybe one day, running won't have to be an act of bravery." Until then, Chicago keeps running,